Public speaking is scary. That's why we're here. How does one get through the judgment day of speaking? A way to approach this with my Renaissance mentality is to enlarge the perspective. Because to be afraid of something is for something to be alien to you. Judgment day implies a judgment. That's the fear of being judged, which is fundamental to fear of speaking, in my view. So I am going to speak as if you are either God or aliens, and we are in a huge cosmic arena. I'm going to take a cue from someone who is a good communicator. I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. And that's unconditional love. Well, unconditional love, as Beata was saying, it came to my mind. Another word for that is grounding. In unconditional love, you have grounding. Well, how can you ground yourself? You must have unconditional love for yourself in order to be free, in order to express yourself. Well, I aim to work on this with this speech. It's by the seat of my pants. But it's an experiment to see if I can ground myself in the love that I know myself to be in my life. And I'm going to give you examples of these things that have been that black and white totality of love. Pain, sorrow, joy, gratitude, all coming as a full force in one and emerging as happiness. And these moments in which you prevail are moments that you can hold to in your life for courage, because you know you've been loved and you have loved. And when you know you're good that way, then you can be confident that in your presence and unconditional love, and speak before others more completely. This is a little bracelet that on 11/27/55 fit around my wrist. It has Khan on it, and I was 20.5 inches long at the time. I emerged in room 32 and loved my mother deeply, and she loved me, and we said goodbye to one another, and I gave her a little kick in the seat of her pants with greatest love. That's grounding right there, to recognize the love. That was in 1955. This place, Tampa, Florida, 1963. I was 7 years old. It's a heart, Be My Valentine, that I made for my mother and my father. There are 4 hearts at each corner for my mother, father, my sister, and my brother. And there is a hole in the heart where an arrow of truth goes straight through. I found this recently, only vaguely remembering ever having made it. And this, my Happiness Wins Renaissance symbol, I recognized it. This was a dream of what has come to fruition today. Happiness wins. Be my Valentine. This is a picture of me sitting by the twin falls of Akaka Falls on the big island of Hawaii. This is the time after my father came back to us from Vietnam after flying his jet in war over that land. And he came back to us, and he took us to this lush volcanic island for us to heal. I wore a tape recorder that my father had given to me which I recorded my voice walking down the trail. And my father gave this to me, and with the wisdom that the feedback loop of hearing myself would be a healing process. So I walked down the trail and I said, "We are at Akaka Falls now." And it was such a wooden voice. And I hated myself at the time. I thought I was stupid, so stupid. And I hated myself ever since then, up until I actually saw this picture. It came to light just within the last 2 weeks, and I saw my face. And it is an incredibly poignant picture of a girl who was so grateful and so sad at the same time for her father coming back, and yet his friends, many of his friends, did not come back from war. And my awareness of this, all at the same time amidst this beauty, was overwhelming. Forgiving myself for feeling stupid is a big thing, and to root myself in that love is part of this process which I'm sharing with you today. The next thing that I'm going to share with you is another event that took place in Honolulu, Hawaii, at Hickam Air Force Base. This is Glenn Campbell's album, By the Time I Get to Phoenix. My father, in his wisdom, took our family to see Glenn Campbell. Hickam Air Force Base happens to be situated at Pearl Harbor. So Glenn Campbell was right there singing, "Hey little one, the road of life is a long, long road when you walk alone. But I found you, and I found a love I've never known, a love I've never known." This song sustained me and my family after my father came back from war, because it was not easy to get together again after so much fear and so much gratitude had transpired between us all. And Glenn Campbell helped our family stay together. This aching, plucking of his guitar strings brought home this gratitude. And his signature is here. The thing I needed forgiving was that when I went up to get the signature from him, his autograph, even after he had sung By the Time I Get to Phoenix, which was another significant song for us, I was wooden. I just handed it to him, and he said, "Oh, one of these felt tip pen things," which I treasured hearing words from him to me. And I didn't save the pen, and that's another lack of gratitude that I felt stupid about subconsciously all these years. I don't know what happened to that pen. Nor did I go up to him and hug him and say, "I love you. I love you. Thank you." And I have felt guilty for that, and I feel guilty for that to this day. But I love this man dearly. But this totality of the location, the locale, black and white at Pearl Harbor, my father, war, coming back home, he had witnessed the bombing of Pearl Harbor himself as a child because he was a child living in Hawaii. It was an overwhelming onrush of perfection, of confluence of events. And to connect this and to forgive myself and to love, this is one of those grounding, unconditional love moments. The last one is a happiness win. That was a happiness wins moment. All of these were happiness wins moments. The last one is Japan, Tokyo, Japan. Kantomura Housing Annex, Chofu High School football field. I am a senior, juniors versus seniors. I'm wearing the number 27, who the jersey belonged to, the football player who I had such a terrific crush on, the first love of my life. I wore his jersey, number 27. That's the day of my birth. And I was the quarterback. The team stood around waiting for instruction from me as to what we were going to do. There's me with the football. We're huddling up here. There's me with the football in my hand. I made the winning touchdown, and we won. Happiness won. After it was all over, it was like a dream. We won. It was perfect. It was perfect. I didn't know how I did it. I didn't know how we did it. And so it was like that channel of magic that was perfect. And that also was a totality of perfection of black and white. Tokyo, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. We are there. We are military people. I'm a Japanese American. I was in love. The number 27. I'm leading. Happiness wins. So this is, and I never recognized that until just recently. I hated myself in high school. I hated myself. These are things one needs to get out of one's system. These memories, these vague, but yet so huge memories. And so in sharing this with you, this grounding of my love for myself, for others, for God, the perfection, I would wish that would help to usher me and to all of you to a better understanding of just ourselves and how love works and how to not be afraid. Fear is a great tyrant. It's a prisoner. A prisoner, and I guess it's a prisoner and a prison. Anyway, happiness wins, and I love you and thank you, and let us go forward in fearlessness together. Happiness wins.